Imagine a country, right in the heart of Europe, that most maps just seem to forget. A place where history isn't locked away in museums, but flows through the world's largest underground wine cities. This is a land where time seems to slow down, where ancient monasteries are carved right into cliffsides, and where the hospitality is as rich as the dark soil. What if I told you that one of Europe's best-kept secrets, and maybe its least visited country, is just waiting for you? This is Moldova, and we're about to uncover its soul. Wedged right between Romania and Ukraine, Moldova is a country that usually gets the question, wait, where is that? For decades, it's been one of the quiet corners of the continent, a land of rolling hills, huge sunflower fields, and a history that's as complex as it is deep. The country declared its independence from the Soviet Union on August 27, 1991, and has been building its own identity ever since. This is a place that hasn't been polished to a shine by crowds of tourists, which gives it an authenticity that's getting harder and harder to find. The experience here is real, it's raw, and it's incredibly human. On this trip, we're not just going to look at the sights, we're going to get to know this amazing country. We'll explore its lively capital, go down into the mind-boggling depths of its legendary wine cellars, and journey to ancient sites that whisper stories of civilizations long gone. We'll find the fun facts that make Moldova so unique and discover the best things to do. So, forget what you think you know about Eastern Europe. This is Moldova, unscripted and unforgettable. Our adventure starts in its beating heart, the capital city of Chisinau. Chisinau, and you say it like Chisinau, is a city of wide boulevards, sprawling green parks, and a fascinating, sometimes jarring mix of Soviet-era buildings and modern European dreams. It's a city built on 7 hills, just like Rome, but its story is all its own. Starting as a tiny monastery town way back in the 15th century, it's been shaped by history, tossed between Romanian and Russian control over the years. Today, it's a city that really captures the spirit of modern Moldova, tough, always changing, and full of surprises. Let's start our tour on the main drag, Ștefan cel Mare, Chisinau Boulevard. This street is the cultural and political core of the capital, lined with important buildings, theaters, and shops. It's here you'll find the monument to the man himself, Stephen the Great. He was a 15th century prince who fought like a lion to defend his lands and is now honored as a national hero. His statue stands proudly at the entrance to the city's oldest and most loved park, Stephen the Great Central Park. At about 17 acres, it's a beautiful green space where locals hang out, kids play, and you might even see some senior citizens having a spontaneous dance lesson. Just a short walk from the park, you can't miss the Triumphal Arch. It was built in 1840 to celebrate the Russian Empire's victory over the Ottoman Empire, a solid reminder of the area's complicated past. Right behind it is the Nativity Cathedral and its beautiful bell tower, the main cathedral of the Moldovan Orthodox Church. Built in the 1830s, its design is elegant and simple. Step inside, though, and you're hit with vibrant golden murals that are typical of Orthodox churches, covering every single inch of the walls and ceiling in a kaleidoscope of color. But to really get Chisinau, you have to wander. You have to see the mix of architecture for yourself. Giant, brutalist Soviet apartment blocks stand right next to graceful 19th century buildings and new, sleek cafes. This contrast is the city's signature. You can see it in the imposing government house and parliament building, both classic examples of Soviet design. Then, just a few blocks away, you'll stumble upon a charming building like the Chisinau City Hall. For a real slice of local life, you have to go to the Piazza Centrală, or Central Market. This place is the city's bustling, chaotic, and completely captivating stomach. It's a huge maze of stalls, selling everything from fresh fruits and veggies to homemade cheeses, cured meats, and the sweet, sticky treat known as halva. It's a total sensory overload in the best way possible. This is where you can try bronza, the salty homemade sheep's cheese that's a staple here, and just be amazed by the variety of produce grown in Moldova's super fertile soil. And no visit is complete without acknowledging the city's poignant Jewish history. Before World War II, Chisinau had a huge, thriving Jewish community. The Jewish cemetery in the Buyucani district is one of the largest in Europe, a sprawling, somber place with over 20,000 graves. It's a powerful and moving sight, a quiet tribute to a community that was tragically wiped out during the Holocaust. For a great view of the whole city, head to the Chisinau Water Tower, which is now the City History Museum. From the top, you get a 360-degree look at the capital, a sea of green treetops broken up by all the different rooftops. It's from up here that you can really see why they call it the Green City. If there's one thing that defines Moldova on the world stage, it's wine. And this isn't some new trend. Winemaking is woven into the country's DNA. The land here was once the bed of an ancient sea, which left behind rich soil that's perfect for grapes. People have been growing them here for nearly 5,000 years. But Moldova doesn't just make wine. It stores it on a whole different level, underground. The country is home to the two most incredible underground wine cellars on the planet, Craiova and Milești Mici. First up is Milești Mici, a name that's in the Guinness World Records for having the largest wine collection in the world. We're talking about almost 2 million bottles stored in an underground city of tunnels stretching over 200 kilometers, or about 120 miles. That's longer than a drive from Paris to Brussels. Visiting is surreal. You don't walk through these cellars, you actually drive. Your car goes down into the earth and enters a whole other world where the streets have names like Sauvignon and Cabernet, named for the wines aging in the walls all around you. These tunnels are old limestone mines. The stone was dug out over centuries to build cities like Chisinau, and it left behind the perfect natural environment for aging wine. The temperature stays at a constant 12 to 14 degrees Celsius with high humidity all year round. Perfect conditions. As you drive through, you'll see endless rows of oak barrels and countless dusty bottles, each one a sleeping treasure. The golden collection here is the crown jewel, a priceless library of wines. Just a short drive away is the second underground wine kingdom, Craiova. While Milești Mici has the most bottles, Craiova is almost as big, with around 120 kilometers of tunnels. Founded in 1952, Craiova has a slightly more polished, even luxurious feel. You also tour this one on wheels, usually on a cute little electric train that winds through the cellars. Craiova is especially famous for its sparkling wines, made using the same traditional French method they use for champagne. Deep underground, you can see the whole process. But Craiova is more than that. It's a place of national pride. It has 5 incredible, lavishly decorated tasting rooms, each with its own theme. The winery also has the National Onotek, a wild collection of rare and historic bottles from all over the world. Maybe the most famous part is Hermann Göring's private stash, brought here as war reparations after Walkufeu. Craiova also stores the personal wine collections of different world leaders, including one for Vladimir Putin, who even celebrated his 50th birthday down here. There's a great story that when cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin visited in 1966, he got lost for 2 days and later joked that it was easier to break away from Earth than from Craiova. A visit here isn't just a wine tasting, it's a trip into the heart of Moldova's national identity. To really feel the ancient soul of Moldova, you have to go to Orheiul Vechi, which means Old Orhei. It's about an hour from Chisinau, and it's not just one thing. It's a huge archaeological complex and probably the most beautiful and dramatic site in the whole country. It's where nature and thousands of years of human history crash together. Orheiul Vechi is set in a stunning limestone canyon carved out by the Rut River. Over time, the river has created these incredible cliffs and hills, and inside these natural defenses, civilizations have been living for thousands of years. The history here is layered, just like the rock. They've found stuff dating back to the Stone Age, and it's been home to Dacians, the Golden Horde, and medieval Moldavians. The most famous thing to see here is the cave monastery, called Peștera. It was carved right into the side of a massive limestone cliff by Orthodox monks back in the 13th century. It's just an amazing piece of work. To get there, you go through a little hole in the cliff top and down a dark, narrow stone staircase. You pop out into these little rooms, cells for the monks and a tiny chapel, all cut from the rock. From the small balcony, the view of the river valley is absolutely breathtaking. It's such a peaceful, spiritual place, and it feels a million miles away from the modern world. But the monastery is just one part of this huge, open-air museum. You can explore the ruins of old fortresses, including one from the 6th century BC. Later, in the 14th century, the Golden Horde took over and built a city here, and you can still see the remains of their public baths and a mosque. To round out the trip, you have to visit the village of Butuceni, right in the middle of the complex. This isn't some tourist trap. It's a real community where traditional Moldovan life is still going on. The houses are painted bright blue and green with decorative gates and pretty gardens. You can even stay in a traditional guest house to get some real Moldovan hospitality and amazing food. Walking through Butușeni with the huge cliffs of Orhei Veci in the background honestly feels like stepping back in time. While Chisinau, the wineries, and Orhei Veci are the big stars, Moldova's real charm is often found off the beaten path. It's in the incredible fortresses, the quiet monasteries, the unique cultures of its different regions, and definitely in its food and people. Let's head north to the city of Soroka, on the banks of the Dniester River, which forms the border with Ukraine. Here you'll find the magnificent Soroka Fortress. It's a perfectly circular stone fort with 5 huge towers, a really unique piece of defensive architecture. Stephen the Great had a wooden fort built here around 1499 to guard the river crossing from invaders. The stone fortress we see today was built in the 1540s by his son, Petru Rareș. It was a key part of a stone belt of fortresses protecting medieval Moldavia and saw plenty of action over the centuries. Walking its walls, you can really feel that history. Moldova is also a land of beautiful, ancient monasteries. One of the oldest is Capriana Monastery, about 40 kilometers from Chisinau, deep in the Codru forests. It's been around since at least 1429 and has 3 churches from different eras. Then there's the Topova Monastery, another stunning site with churches carved right into the cliffs overlooking the Dniester River, with some parts dating back to the 11th century. For a completely different cultural vibe, you can travel south to Gagauzia. This is an autonomous region, home to the Gagauz people. They are a Turkic-speaking ethnic group, but they're also mostly Orthodox Christians, a really rare cultural mix. They have their own language, traditions, and culture. A visit to their capital, Comrat, is a fascinating look into a community that has held on to its unique identity against all odds. And of course, you can't understand a culture until you've tasted its food. Moldovan food is hearty, soulful, and comes straight from the land. The absolute must-try dish is mama liga, a creamy cornmeal porridge a bit like polenta. It's often served with salty bronza cheese, sour cream, and a garlic sauce called mujdei. Another staple is placinte, which are savory pastries filled with things like cheese or potatoes. You also have to try sarmale, cabbage leaves stuffed with rice and meat, a classic at any celebration. And for a perfect start to a meal, there's zima, a traditional chicken noodle soup that everyone says can cure anything. Moldovan hospitality is legendary, and people love to share food. If you get invited to a meal in a Moldovan home, you're experiencing the true heart of the country. So, from the green streets of Chisinau to the mind-blowing depths of its wine cellars, from the ancient cliffs of Orhei Veci to the proud walls of Soroka Fortress, Moldova is a country full of surprises. It's a place where the past isn't just something you read about, it's alive and all around you. It's a reminder that there are still parts of Europe that are refreshingly real, unspoiled, and waiting to be explored. A trip through Moldova is a journey of contrasts. It's the old Soviet past meeting a new European future. It's the quiet peace of a cliffside monastery and the buzzing energy of a city market. It's the taste of a 1,000-year-old wine tradition and the simple joy of a home-cooked meal with new friends. It might be one of Europe's least visited countries, but for travelers willing to look beyond the usual spots, it offers some of the best rewards. So, if this trip through Europe's best-kept secret has sparked your curiosity and sense of adventure, what are you waiting for? If you enjoyed this look into the heart of Moldova, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more journeys to the world's most fascinating, under-the-radar places. And we want to hear from you. What surprised you the most about Moldova? Would you add it to your travel list? Let us know in the comments below. Until next time, keep exploring.